Ubisoft leaned completely into the woke mind virus ideology, and now they are suffering and they're in a pretty desperate position. I've covered so much about Ubisoft lately, but there's even more. They're even admitting that Star Wars Outlaws did not reach expectations. Their stock is plummeting, and so much more. I mean, the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows because of the terrible reception that has received as well. It has been a colossal nightmare, largely in part to the fact that Ubisoft hired a bunch of woke activists instead of people actually passionate about video games who do not care to insert their personal ideologies into it. I truly believe that is the biggest case here. So here we have from that Park Place, they said Ubisoft admits Star Wars Outlaws sales were softer than expected as it slashes net expected bookings by 30%. I mean, that's a pretty large margin. So here's that going on. We also have Ubisoft stock is down another 16%. Investors punish Ubisoft for Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. They delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was supposed to come out this year, like sometime next month, I believe. And now it is set for release in February 14th on Valentine's Day, also during Black History Month, because of course, which is what they've done with the main character, making a game set in Japan and giving a black protagonist when, dude, we've been begging for an Assassin's Creed set in Japan. We would have loved to play it as a Japanese protagonist, even though, oh, but there's dual protagonists now. You can play as a shinobi girl if you want. That's not what we were asking for, dude. We wanted to play like actual set protagonists. Also, I personally am tired of the dual protagonist thing. I feel like they play it too safe. They should commit to one. I do think in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if they would have just fully leaned into, hey, Cassandra, she's the main character, I would have loved that. But according to the player base, I do think most did play as the dude, her brother, which I forgot is Alexios or something. I played as Cassandra when I played, and I thought she was a cool character. But I digress. This whole here's an option, or some people say, well, they should just let you customize your character instead, and this will never be an issue. How lame would that be if every game just had a customizable character? Because let's be real, games that customize your character, you're not getting a lot of depth in terms of story when they do that. That's okay for certain games, like Elden Ring. I like that. But I also love games that have incredible characters, like Devil May Cry, for example, or Persona 5. So it's like, do I want just stock creatable characters? No, because you're going to miss a lot of substance. And Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises that I don't think that you should just create your character. They should have a set character. In this case, we were robbed. It just seems purely for woke points. I mean, let's not pretend that we haven't had, people of darker skin complexions represented in Assassin's Creed. That has been the case already, and everyone was fine with that because it was within the proper context. But when you have a game set in feudal Japan, you want to play as a Japanese samurai, not as a retainer who some people have pretend like he was a samurai. You know what I mean? So anyway, Grums also says here, remember when I told you we could take Ubisoft out by voting with our wallets? 2 years to stop the spread. I mean, this is where we're at with the industry and all of this woke ideology that is infecting everything in games. We have to use our wallets. And a lot of us have been. A lot of us have been sticking with playing older titles, retro games, or last generation games that weren't infested with this ideology. Right now, I'm playing a ton of Persona 5. Granted, I'm also playing Deadlock. But I wouldn't call Deadlock infested with woke ideology, but it is kind of debatable. I will say that. But it's genuinely good. The only debatable thing is their characters are just terrible and ugly. But I digress. It's a whole other story in terms of like these mainstream games. It's like, I will not purchase a woke game. I didn't purchase Baldur's Gate 3 for that reason. I know a lot of people still did. I didn't. I will not be playing the new Dragon Age Veilguard game. There's so many games I'm passing up on because I'm sick of this woke ideology and I just won't support that. Plus, it's not fun. Like Star Wars Outlaws, this does not look fun to me. They couldn't even give a cute main character. And like all of the wokies who are defending it and who are on our case about these things, they're not supporting these things. So stop pandering to all these wokies who don't give a crap and who don't support these things anyway. We have Grumps here says Ubisoft management fight to survive as investors circle wagons and demand the company be sold. Wow, that's huge. That's the thing is I feel bad even talking bad about Ubisoft because that's how whenever I was in the gaming industry, I got my start because I interned with Ubisoft with the Fragdolls program. So yeah, a part of me dies inside when I have to talk bad about Ubisoft, but the Ubisoft now isn't the Ubisoft then. Not to even say the Ubisoft then was perfect. Granted, they were making good games back then, and especially previous to that. But they still were far from perfect. And I remember even at my time trying to get hired on full-time or as like a full-time frag doll, which I did eventually, but by then it was like a little bit too late and I'd already taken off on my own stuff enough to where, so I put a year into that, but I outgrew the position by the time I got it essentially. But prior to that, whenever I was in the internship program, like I had insiders telling me behind the scenes, hey, they really like you. They like your work ethic. They like your image. All of this stuff, and they think that you would be perfect for the role, but the thing that's holding you back is that you're a Christian and that you're open about it and your faith. That's holding you back, and that's off-putting to them. Obviously, people are, oh, you're just making that up. Whatever, dude. I don't care if you think I'm lying or not. Like, I lived it. I remember feeling like, oh, I've got to dial back on this. I can't be as open about my faith anymore. I have to dial back and be more. And hey, I shouldn't have done that. But like I said in my previous video, the gaming industry rewards you when you push their woke ideologies and when you separate yourself from Christian ideology, from Christian truth, right? And it was a slow progression for me, and that was part of it. But just saying, like, that's where we're at. So I'm not claiming that old Ubisoft was perfect, but still. So now we have Ubisoft is turning over every rock to find sales, comes crawling back to Steam, according to PC Gamer. Star Wars Outlaws arrives on Steam November 21st. On my birthday, I will not be torturing myself on my birthday. I won't be playing that. But yeah. I mean, Ubisoft's in deep trouble right now. That's the thing is, I'm just glad that the culture is shifting a bit and people are sick of this stuff. I've been sick of this stuff. I spoke out against this stuff. I lost my jobs in the fact that I got blacklisted and I haven't been able to host in the gaming industry ever since. And that was my main income before. That was my main thing. So yeah, I lost all that and it was worth it. It was worth it. I don't regret it. Sometimes I miss the work that I did before. It was fun. But I have no regrets because it got to the point where things got so bad to where it's like, I can't represent this stuff. I can't condone where the industry is going anymore. So anyway, there you have it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can check out my Bible channel at Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Thank you all again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.